Hi everyone, thank you for being with us this morning. Sorry for the security check. It's the CM is here, so it's a little difficult, but yeah, thanks for being here early morning. So we'll start. I'm Alban Herald, the founder of the Blue Ocean Strategy Awards. We created the Blue Ocean Strategy Awards in 2014, so it's 12 years ago. And it's a mixed edition. We are going all over the world now. It's in Senegal, in France. It started in France, in South Africa, in India, for the second time in India. I will let also my colleague George introduce himself.
Good morning. I've been working with Alban for, I don't know, from 2016. And I'm ex-INSEAD and started working with the founders of Blue Ocean Strategy in 2019. And been doing workshops all over the world. And now, but those for large corporations. Now we're working in the startup space. And you'll see in the rest of the presentation, anybody who wins an award actually makes money within a few hours. Okay, I'm around, so we can talk about it.
Thank you, George. So Blue Ocean Strategy, it's a long story. It started like in 1996. Blue Ocean Shift, it's a process, and leadership, it's how you can transform your organization to be compatible with the Blue Ocean Strategy. It started with two professors here. I will show them. So Professor Chen Kim and Professor René Mauborgne from the INSEAD. They are two researchers, scientists, and they created the Blue Ocean Strategy. And it's 15 years of research, experiment and experimentation. It's, as you can see, based on many cases from the reality. It's very rooted to the ground. And we are, every day, every year, we put on the stage these strategies, these successful Blue Ocean strategies. It's more than 1 century of industrial activity. It's based on these 3 books, Blue Ocean Strategy, Blue Ocean Shift, and Beyond Disruptions. We have signed copies for the winners, for the laureates, signed by the 2 authors, by Chen Kim and René Mauborgne. So Blue Ocean Strategy Awards, it's now, as I said, spread all around the world for more than 10 years. We have the ability with a very good jury as you today. Thanks for being here. And from the beginning, we have been able to reward very successful companies in as an average, in 3 years, they have multiplied by 10 as an average their value, their market value. All the laureates now, they became, most of them, they became unicorns. So there are the figures here. 91% were funded in less than 3 months. And 6 months, in less than 6 months. You have some successful companies from the Blue Ocean Awards. Some are very big names now in Europe, in France. It's also a very strong, it's based on a very strong and powerful ecosystem. And we are very kind to be supported, and we are here because of Startup TN, the government of Tamil Nadu. So we really want to thank Startup TN for their support. And also, so with Nikunj should be connected. I think he's connected here he's around to support our startups. And we are very happy and kind and very honored to have the Consul General of France as a member of the jury today, supporting the event. Maybe I will let you introduce yourself and say a few words. Etienne?
Well, hello, everybody. I'm very happy to be here. There are 2 reasons I'm here. First, I studied at INSEAD in the PhD program, and second, I'm interested in this initiative, the Blue Ocean Awards. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Consul General, for supporting us, endorsing us from the beginning, because the first edition in India, it was also supported by the Council of France. And we will start with one formal winner we had in India 3 years ago, Kalyani. She's connected, she's here. Hello, Kalyani. So she can share her experience with the finalists we have today. We have 7 finalists today, and she can share her experience from after she got an award, the Ocean Strategy Award. Hi, Kalyani, can you hear us?
Yes, hi.
Yes.
Hi, can you hear us?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
It's to you. Yeah, the floor is yours.
Great. So, yeah, I mean, I did prepare a video. If that can be played, great. Otherwise, I would start. Hi, everyone. And it's been a privilege to be here and represent our startup, Ambaram. Now, Ambaram is a B2B is an AI-driven B2B SaaS platform for enterprise design. We primarily serve fashion and lifestyle industries, and we have just started with automotive. Now, with 26 years of experience in design that I carry, I introduced technology, IT, and Gen AI to help designers fasten their concept creation. Say, if Ambram was not there, then the entire process would take almost a month, and they would end up spending somewhere around 840K, $840,000 to just prepare the first collection to see whether they want to make this work. Now, with Ambram, they don't have to do anything. Everything gets done in 3 days because they can write their prompts, see the results right there in front of them. And we have made this process extremely easy using our design thinking and design technology. So that's the platform that we have, and we help designers. We were privileged to win, Blue Ocean Award in 2020.
It's okay, we can play your video if you want.
That'll be fantastic if you can.
Let's find it.
Yes, in this you can see how we are helping the sportswear brand which works with NBA clients. We created this, everything is done in our AI tool. And can you see how realistic it looks? We are giving the front back views. We are also giving them the fabric embroideries. So the person who has a vision and a concept in their head can straightaway work with our tool. And can you see the details that we're giving in terms of measurements and the tech packs? So these are the technical packs that a designer needs to make it work with the production. And if this was not there, they would have to create the entire look, and it takes a month. And we just did this in like 3 days for this customer. And there are tools that it doesn't work. See, these are the things that are not working. The words are wrong, the spelling are wrong. So that's why bringing in human in loop to correct these mistakes that AI does. It's not yet, advanced. So our Ambram, what it does is it brings in AI and human in loop to complete the entire design to production ready designs within 3 days. And that's the speed we bring in with the help of technology and the domain expertise. So we are very, very privileged to be recognized as Blue Ocean Award because nobody is actually is a competitor to us. We have created this new market. So all the software companies like ChatGPT or similar tones cannot get the domain expertise that we have and the human in loop expertise that can deliver it extremely fast. So that becomes a new market for these industries. So we've created this new market, and in the future, I expect designers not just designing, but actually using AI and learning AI. So that's a separate market that we have created. So this is exactly what we've learned. And we've used these strategies continuously for past 2 years to bring our startup into a very unique space where the competition is negligible. It's not there at the moment, and we're taking the advantage. The results have been, we've got global exposure. We have got we won multiple awards. We won in Tycon Award in Silicon Valley. Then again, we got to represent India in VivaTech this year. So there were 13 companies that got represented, and we were the one of we won. We again got excellent exposure when we went to France. Apart from that, we could close international clients from USA, and we're also talking to clients in France at this point of time. So two things that I would say from and all the participants who've got selected, congratulations to them. But one thing that they have to always take back is how to use this strategy continuously to beat the customer and make yourself that aware that you're not getting into the red ocean. So again, this is how I would like to close my presentation here. Again, congratulations, and I hope to see a lot of blue oceans coming out of India. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin, for that. We also welcome and say a strong hello to our jury members. As you can see, we'll have very official jury members with Mr. the Consul General of France, with also Sharanya Kumar from INSEAD alumni, who can say a few words.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here. Such a pleasure to see so many folks talking about blue ocean strategy, from being in the class, attending lectures on blue ocean strategy, to implementing it, founding my company, and now being here to evaluate the other business models on this is like, you know, life coming a full circle. Really looking forward to hearing the participants.
Thank you, Sharanya. We have also Dr. Srinivas Rao from Phoenix Venture Partner. Thanks for being here.
Firstly, I must confess, I'm sort of new to this, primarily because George and I went to school together many, many moons ago. But I've had the privilege of deploying blue ocean strategy in a former company where we were trying to design products that get into phones, particularly iPhones. And our concept was, you know, understand the customer, drive what exactly is needed. And it was a grand success. And I'm a proponent of deploying tools that effectively deliver to the marketplace without sort of embarrassment. So I love it.
Thank you, Dr. for being here. And online, we have also very honorable jury members as well. There are a lot, like maybe I can show you here. We have Kumar from representing the French Indian Chamber of Commerce, the president of this chamber. Hello, Kumar.
Hello, Alban. Good morning, everyone, and pleasure to be here. First of all, Happy New Year to all of you. Very happy to support this initiative. I've been associated with Alban and the Blue Ocean Award team for a couple of years now. And very briefly from my side, based in Paris, it'll be the early morning here. And I head the Chamber of Commerce that is primarily on the bilateral initiatives between France and India. And here I'm with that hat, and I have another hat as well. I lead Indian company business development for France as well. This is Tech Mahindra, but here I'm with my hat as a president of the Chamber of Commerce. Very happy to be here and very happy to support this part of the world that is very close to my heart as well.
Thank you, Kumar, for being here. We have also Luisa Manareto, investor for India and Europe, Capital Partners. Hello, Luisa.
Yes. Good morning.
Yeah,
good morning.
Yeah. Hi, good morning.
Good morning to everyone. It's a happy new year to everyone. I'm really happy, pleased to discover this new cohort, and happy new year to Kalyani, that I had the pleasure to interact very often and to see her during the last VivaTech. So I am entrepreneur investor in India since long time. My company is Techia Impact Invest and is an asset management cross-border platform that invests in India, brings investors in India, and then also bringing Indian investors in Europe. So it's a really cross-border corridor for that. And pleased and happy to discover this new cohort. And thank you, Alban, for the involvement.
Thank you, Luisa. We have also Sami, I see here with the video. Hello, Sami is a general manager at Servier, one of the biggest pharma company in France. Hi, Sami.
Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. Thank you for the invitation. Thrilled to be with you today. Yes, it's a bit early morning compared to India, but nevertheless, we're very motivated to be with you. So as Alban mentioned, so I represent more the arm which is related to pharmaceutical business. Servier is one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in France with presence in around 140 countries, including actually India, where we have also activities there since roughly 30 years. Pleasure to be with you. Best of luck to the candidates and looking forward for the rest of the event.
And we have also some investors like Olivier and Majdi. Olivier, you want to introduce yourself? If you are here. So we have participants. Okay. Okay, so I think, and Majdi, if you want to say a few words, as an investor as well.
Yeah, sure. Thanks once again for the invitation. Super happy to be part of this jury today. And being on the other side, especially, I mean, I was mostly on the entrepreneurial side until the past 2 years. So always happy to discover more projects. Started mine in Singapore, so I would say Asia and Southeast Asia in general was a part of all my businesses until now. So thanks all for the invitation and hope to discover more projects.
Thank you, Majdi. So we'll now start right now. You have all the jury members received your scorecard. You can write your 3 favorites. You have also a scorecard, where you have 0, 1 for at each step. So we have prepared the metrics, the evaluation metrics, I think, supporting all the finalists you will see today. It's part of what we call the certification we have developed with APMG International. It's Blue Ocean Strategy for Action. So it's using AI or AI Blue Ocean tools. And these metrics, as you can see, we are using for more than 10 years now. All the finalists always present and work with this tool. The rules here, they will pitch for 5 minutes to you, including the matrix, and 80% of the information you have in the matrix for your scorecard, to fill in your scorecard. And then you will have the first jury members here, and maybe we can choose some questions from the voters as well, because we are quite a big jury today. So it will be for 4 minutes, okay, with interactions, Q&A session with the finalists. There will be 3 categories: baby, mentor, societal. Baby, they are younger than 2 years, less than €2 million revenues. Mentors, they are older than 2 years. And societal, they can be any age, less than 2 years or more than 2 years, but they have a very clear impact on the society, very strong positive impact on the society. And you have this blue score we have already introduced to you at the preparation session. And the connection you have also on the paper, how you can find information in the matrix. And we shared yesterday with you all the matrices from all the 7 finalists. Okay? And your scorecard. Today, this column is gray, so they were out of the process. You have here. On your scorecard, you have your 3 choices here on the second page. So you can write it down, and we will take it and count all the votes. So the 7 finalists here in the running here in the order here, We start with Cosmic Soul, Autophone, Innogle, Eleos, Orbix, Intellect, and Scanex. Okay, let's start right now with Cosmic Soul. Abhishek, yeah, we'll start with your video.
We believe intelligent artificial intelligence must live in massive data centers. That belief created centralized control, permanent surveillance, and intelligence we can only rent. But intelligence does not come from scale. It comes from structure. By separating reasoning from data, intelligence becomes local. No cloud, no GPU, no internet. Supercomputers still matter for rare edge cases. But everyday intelligence belongs with people. The mainframe era of AI is ending. The personal computer era has begun.
So, ladies and gentlemen, history is repeating itself. So in 1970s, you cannot own a computer. You have to rent a mainframe. And today we are living in the same mainframe era of AI. Only 0.1% of the companies can actually own AI. Why? Because running these models costs millions of dollars. You need GPU clusters, you need so much of computation cost. And even if you do that, these models hallucinate. So the result is that 99% of the companies rent AI from these three giants. So the problem is that they never own it, they never control it, and most importantly, they lose their data, they lose their privacy. So let's say if a bank is there, if a large organization is there, they have to send their private data to these servers. So we at Cosmic Soul, we thought, what if it could be changed? So we created a new AI. So current AI models, they are probabilistic models. So probabilistic model means that you think these models like a parrot. So you repeat so much of information in front of them, and they will analyze it, they will find the patterns, and they will repeat it. So it means that they will give you the most probable correct answer, not the 100% accurate answer. So what we created is that traditional LLM stored everything in the neural weights. So we created a adaptive neurosymbolic architecture. It has separate neural network layer and a separate knowledge graph. So I will give you a perspective. So current GPT models. So you see that reasoning capabilities, we are able to match with the GPT models, but they are not explainable. Explainability means that you give the input and you get the output. You don't know that what happened in between. So if let's say you are a legal firm, you are a healthcare firm. So in that case, you need to know that how exactly it came. So our models, they give you a full audit trail. It gives you that how exactly these answers came up. And apart from this, they have a high hallucination rate. Hallucination rate means that the answer that it gives, it might be incorrect answer. Whereas in our case, it's less than 2%. The knowledge upgrade takes millions of dollars, and in our case, it's $0. You don't even have to spend millions of dollars in running these models, and secondly, you don't need millions of dollars to update the information. So to give you the perspective, our 8 billion parametric model is able to compete with a 175 billion parametric model. That means you don't need GPU clusters. You can run it on your own servers. I will quickly walk through this blue ocean metrics. So currently the industry is focused upon the generative AI and cloud-based LLMs. Our solution is that the non-customers we are reaching is the government organizations, because these organizations cannot send their private data on these servers. Second is the regulated enterprise. So let's say if you're a legal organization or maybe a healthcare enterprise, in that case, you need the audit trail. Even in the 1% hallucination case, you will be legal suited, because in Kerala, they implemented AI models and they found out that it was referring to the cases which never existed in reality. So these are the three segments that we are targeting. And apart from this, we are targeting the offline work where you don't have an internet access. So the elimination that we have done is we have removed the 100% cloud dependency. That means you can run a GPT-4 level model on your own smartphone, on your laptop, on your own computer. We remove the necessity of GPU clusters. We remove the rent-seeking models, and we remove the mass manipulation. We reduce the model size from 175 billion parameters to 8 billion parameters. Hallucination rate is currently less than 2%, and the energy cost we have reduced. We have created a new category that is a sovereign intelligence category, and we have an offline running intelligence.
So the rest we have done is data sovereignty we have increased, explainability we have increased. So now we are creating a new value proposition that is a personal computer of AI delivering the sovereign AI gap intelligence. Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, this is not just a vision. This is a reality that is going on right now. We have done our first pilot commercial, and we are currently working with the government of UP to implement this local running models so that their data is safe as well as the cost of running is very less. So to give you a perspective, GPT model costs $100 million. Our model costs only $10 to run on a local server. So the cost reduction is extremely high, and we are IIT Madras incubated startup, which is the deep tech capital of India. So yeah, the mainframe era is ending. That is, the centralized data servers are ending, and now we are entering into the personal computer of it. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm Abhishek Dixit, and CEO and founder of Personal Server. Thank you so much. So I'm open for questions.
We can have maybe questions from the jury first, and then. Yeah.
So I see your model is dropped from 175 GB, so 175 B to 8B.
Yeah.
What has been the sacrifices? Has there been any use cases which you've not been able to do because of the reduction?
Yeah, see, the reduction is these probabilistic model, they are different segment of AI. So in the edge cases, let's say if you're doing a question of quantum computer or maybe quantum physics, these are very complex cases that even we need a supercomputers in that case, right? So in this case also, if the question is extremely complex, which in day-to-day life we cannot predict, or in day-to-day life we cannot compute. So in that cases, it won't be able to work. But if you think like we are not replacing the existing probabilistic model, because these probabilistic models, they have their own benefit. Own benefit as in they cannot take. In a situation, they will give you some answer. But these some answers in normal day-to-day life, it's harmful for us. But in most complex cases, like maybe we are solving a quantum physics question, or maybe space tech question we are solving. In that cases, even a probabilistic answer is very accurate. So the trade-off is that if you're using this architecture, it will work in 99% of the cases, like our day-to-day life, like maybe legal cases, or maybe anywhere our human can work. It can work over there, but maybe at 1% of the cases, it won't be able to work. But in that case, it will simply tell you that this is out of my jurisdiction. I cannot do that. So it will, instead of giving you a wrong answer, it will simply break over.
Just one more question. Have you ever given this to any non-customer, and have they, rejected it, saying, for any reasons?
Non-customers haven't?
Like people who probably would not have used this kind of a product otherwise.
See, this is everyone. See, currently, adoption rate of AI in industries is very high. Like every industry is adopting the AI model. The non-customers are mainly these legal entities, or maybe the entities, the enterprises who don't want to leak their data. So these are the primary customers that we are targeting. So we created the non-customers that you are seeing, that which are not our target. So we created a elderly care companion. So this was meant to analyze that how exactly it will work if, let's say, someone is doing conversation. Let's say let's say a person is like me. Maybe he uses ChatGPT. Maybe he uses ChatGPT to get the answer. Now, let's say if I implement my model, how it will perform. So we created an elderly care companion which analyzes the mental health of older people. So it's already deployed. We checked, and we have somewhere around 1,200 users who are currently using it. So we're constantly getting these feedback that the edge cases that we are talking about. So in almost all the cases, there is no single case as of now where this AI has failed so far. I hope I need the question.
It's the last question.
I do have a question here, Kalyani. Well, it's split into two. One thing that I want to ask is, what is this 8 billion parameters that you've used? What we know from these parameters that it tends to skew towards a particular industry or a particular function, right? So what is that your 8 billion parameters is good at? So that, because these are the data that is getting used by the models. The second thing I want to ask about is your market. How did you reach this figure? Because I feel that it's much more than what you've predicted, because everything would be AI in next few years. And I think in next 5 years, the 400 million can be a lot bigger number. So can you just explain? Thank you.
So first question I understood, second question I didn't. So I first I will answer your first question. So these 8 billion parameters, so you basically think that it doesn't have any general information. It's basically a language understanding which it stores in this 8 billions. So let's say if we have a 175 billion parameter model, so these parameters means that the storage they have, the number of tokens they store in their networks. So if 175 billion parameter model is there, it will store somewhere psychology will also be stored, maths will store, maybe Hindi, English, language, different thing will be stored. But in 8 billion parameter, we have cut down everything. Cut down only we have stored the necessary language so that it can process the information. It can understand that what exactly we are trying to ask. And see, it's not purely a probabilistic model. It's a combination of graph. So GNN is, if you know, that graph-based neural networks. So it uses a combination of GNNs and the symbolic architecture. So it's a bit complex to explain, but basically this only stores the language, these 8 billions. That is why we are able to cut down the storage from 175 to 8 billion. And the external storage, it is stored in the graph-based data structures. And for the second question, the market size, I think you're asking. So see, market size is comparatively very bigger. I just kept the numbers lower because like even in the market share, I mentioned 0.2%. Reason being in startups, it's very good to under promise and over perform. So I believe that even if like this 0.2% is very achievable. So that is why I kept the market share comparatively very lower, even though if I could have said that because China is the only, there's a lab in China and they are the only ones who are working in this neuro-symbolic architecture right now. And they are around 12 months, like we are 12 months ahead of them. I think this answers it.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
So we'll, it's very short. So next step. Here it will be autophone. Autophone.
In an industry plagued by opaque pricing and broken promises, Ataphon introduces disciplined construction procurement. On Ataphon, every seller is verified before participation. Buyers see clear product specifications, with inspect and accept built into it. Every inquiry defines validity, delivery date, and delivery slot. Sellers receive inquiries without buyer identity. Each quote includes its own validity and delivery commitment. Buyers receive multiple quotes, with seller performance ratings for confident decisions. Every quote shows complete commercial and delivery details. Buyers can confirm delivery or raise disputes. Delivery is completed only through OTP confirmation, ensuring physical receipt. All transactions are recorded clearly, from payment to completion. Sellers receive transparent statements, linked only to completed accepted orders. Ataphon, where requirements, delivery, and payments are guaranteed, not negotiated. In an industry
Closer to you. Right? I'm Satish Kumar. Construction procurement in India is construction procurement is a chaotic development. Closer to your face. Construction procurement is a chaotic erosion. Prices depends on negotiation, lacks transparency, promises are verbal and non-binding. Assets sell buyer faces uncertainty and opaque pricing. Sellers are limited to local reach. And strategic shift Ataphon introduced from rest of industry is system-driven rules, comparable quoting, bindable slots, and OTP-based acceptance and reconciliation. Ataphon value demonstrates its divergence from existing industry. The industry we run is construction procurement. The standard offerings are listing portals, directories, offering dealers on corporate owned procurement platforms. Non-customers reached by our offerings, customers facing opaque pricing and buyers avoiding digital platform due to spams, buyers avoiding digital platforms due to lack of accountability and arbitrary workflow. What we eliminated is relationship negotiation, paid leads. What we reduced fatigue, follow-ups, uncertainty. What we raised clarity, certainty, comparability, and transparency. What we created anonymous RFQ-driven workflows, OTP-based inspect and expect with enforceable settlement. Now, in out-of-fund requirements, delivery and payments are guaranteed, not negotiable. Out-of-fund and disciplined construction procurement platform. Reduction market is 9 to 10.5 lakh crore. Created market is 1 to 1.5 lakh crore. Market size in 5 years, it will be between 12 to 15 lakh crore. Market size in 5 years, 2%. Revenue in 5 years is between 200 to 400 crores. We launched the product on 27 August 2025. And we had around 3,000 registered buyers, 600 registered verified sellers. But out of 600, only 50 have been completely onboarded. Others had some frictions. And so we worked on this, and we have introduced Tamil, and we are launching that on Jan 15. And we are focusing correctness before scaling. I am ready for question.
Okay. Do we have questions for Atofan?
I do have a question. So I understand it's a very complex industry, and there is a lot of negotiations happening before the project starts. So how would you make sure that the quotation that is coming and the quality that is getting served is matched? Because in this industry, because I come from fashion, and we need to really check the quality, what is coming. A lot of the work, see, digital can be just the start, but a lot of human in the loop does get involved. So how are you making sure that what they're quoting on your app is what they're getting at the end of the day? Who's watching that?
Every product will have complete specification. They can check the product at the time of delivery, which is usually happening. And if they're satisfied, they can inspect and accept, then they can share the OTP. Okay. There is a clarity on product specification.
I have a question. See, there are many who have come in the last 3-4 years who have bought online construction and start selling, but they've not been able to scale to a national level of it.
They are not neutral. They are not neutral platform. They want their product. We are not wanting anything.
No. There are many of the marketplace platforms. They are no more only distribution network of their own company. These are open source platforms just like Amazon or just like Flipkart and others, right? Anyone can come place a product, but in this, what they do is they put the products, what is available in the market, just like how you go to a store and buy. They are replicating a store online.
Construction product cannot be like that because price will vary.
Yes.
If they put the price, buyer will have only one option. In our case, buyer will have multiple quotes for the same product for the particular area.
So basically, once they come and put their requirement, then you send a quote to them.
Yes.
Okay, but then what happens is, see, if you take a cement price, you take a bar price, you take any of the construction price, okay? There is a set price everywhere. You can't change the quality of, you can't say the time can be different prices. There can be variations of sand. You can have M sand, you can have regular sand, you can have, if you take it's JK cement, you have Ambuja cement, you have a cement, right? Cement bags goes from 300 to 350 or 400. So they can put the brands. So unless you're going for a non-branded product, that's a different part altogether. But today, even that industry is very consolidated. Everything has a lot of brands and they have a certain pricing and then pricing structure. Volume-wise, yes, that's a different point. So how are you trying to?
No, cement price vary from dealer to dealer, from supplier to supplier, and place to place it varies. The price will depends on the volume required by the buyer and the place where he, because secondary freight will play the major part.
Okay, so how will you be matching this? That's where I was also. See, one is the pricing of what you're going to get. If I am right now in Chandalpet and ordering, okay, how will I get these products? So if your warehouse is in, if you're going to have a warehouse model or you're going to use someone else?
If 60, suppose Chennai 11 is your pin code, and you are making an inquiry, your pin code and kilometer from the supplier. The supplier will register for each pin code, and he will give the quantity he can serve at that pin code.
So how many of these suppliers have you mapped?
No, around 600 has been onboarded. Okay. Only 50 has been able to do the complete setup because there are frictions. They can't understand the language in English, so we have decided to launch in Tamil on Jan 15.
Okay. And they have an app that they have to use, or it's a WhatsApp interaction, or
it's a complete app, iOS and Android and web app.
Okay. Thank you.
There is a room for another question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the question that I have is,
we have a question online after.
If you said the friction was more about the language, but are you sure about it? What if the suppliers are not comfortable about the transparent pricing?
No, madam. The price, because if I am the supplier, if I'm not able to see the other supplier's price. Only seller will, buyer will see the multiple sellers' price without their name.
But do buyers also register with the fee on the platform, or is it free?
Buyer's registration is free. Seller's registrations are also free.
Correct. But if I'm a seller, if I'm smart, I would just have a buyer profile also to go and see the prices of other suppliers.
You can't know which seller they are quoting. You can't identify the exact seller because seller's name will not be visible to you.
So the seller will also be anonymous.
Both are anonymous until buyer confirms. Only that too will be after that they will know only that buyer and seller will be connected, not other persons.
Yeah. Another question online, please. Sami? Yeah.
Yeah, just a question regarding the technicality of it. So you're a platform that is between the buyer and the seller, and you're trying to be, let's say, have the bindable part and accountability managed. How do you assure the delivery parts to take into account that you're talking about the things that are related to construction and material procurement? So how are you doing this?
Secondary delivery is managed by sellers. Sellers will quote product. Buyer can choose at the time of order whether they want delivery or they can choose a safe people. If delivery is, if they want site delivery, a seller will be handling the secondary logistics, including unloading. All are here. He have to give the details. Seller have to give the complete details that he is delivering at this rate.
So, thank you. Thanks a lot, Atokhan. We can.
Sorry, my will be perfect.
Thank you.
But my product is perfect.
Then we'll switch to Inogel, which Shivaramja. Yeah.
congratulate the inaugural innovation for bringing a new concept of helping the fishermen community in the country. This instrument is going to be a big help for the fishing community who are taking risks going to the sea and during the venture.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Shobana Shankar, founder of Innovel. Basically, we are into an oceanography big tech company providing solutions to fishing industry, coast guards, and also to ocean researchers. So, I'll just quickly go ahead with the problem that we are solving. This particular industry is kind of an interconnected problems we are facing. So, one is surprisingly, 80% of the ocean are unexplored because of they don't have adequate solution in place, especially technology. And overfishing and bycatch happening globally, they don't have effective solution to solve this particular issue. And talking about the risk of life safety, especially for the seafarer, risk is always there because they don't have adequate solutions for this life safety because they are having a kind of walkie-talkie only for the communication. And limited telecom infrastructure, as we are very much aware, beyond 15 or 20 kilometers, there is no communication channel. Your needs to depend upon the satellite for the communication. So we have introduced a one-stop solution called Cuddle Compass with the underwater device called SWANS. So this is our patent products. We hold 27 IPs. So this is basically used for any kind of water bodies. So this can be customizable 100% and easy to deploy. And this is especially user-friendly because we did nearly 6 years research to produce this product. So you can see this will create a digital transformation in terms of digital ocean, and this can be suitable for cage as well as we are providing farmer app also. And these are the use case you can see. So the unique solution is that like we are providing a kind of hydro AI foundation model. So this particular AI solution has been selected in the India mission. So we have doing a kind of sandwich model to predict the image and sound of the acoustic sound and capturing the satellite image along with the trained data set. So we train nearly 2,300 data sets with us. It's purely into the underwater intelligence. So these are the one tough task that we have done is like capturing and finding the species name and also like finding the disease of the species. So this is how we got the awards. And validation, we tested the product at IIT Madras. We signed an MOU with TNJF also, and we did joint piloting with Pondicherry government, and they supported well in terms of taking the product to the next level. And we also have India and global customer. And one more interesting point is like, let me go ahead with this. Sorry. Okay, so talking about this, like we also PSA has been selected as top selling companies to do a documentary with Netflix, and it's going to be released soon in this month. So talking about this, the industry that we are focusing is ocean tech, telecom, and aqua industry. The standard offering of this particular industry currently is GPS, walkie-talkie, sat phone, which is quite expensive, and these people are using different components. They don't have one-stop solution in place, and similarly manual inspection. So the non-customer would be like coastal communities, ports, defense, fishing and aquaculture farmers, and anti legacy system and satellite only users are here. So unexplored is nothing but seafarers, defense researchers, and aqua farmers. And talking about the elimination, we are providing a life safety solution. So in that means 24K life-threatening problems will be solved, eliminated, and coastal security threats will be eliminated. Diesel cost and carbon fruit on ocean will be eliminated. And similarly, bycatch and overfishing and real-time water bodies threatening will be avoided. And reduced will be like cost of ocean data collection. So we are using a fishing vessel as USD capture the ocean-sensitive data. So instead of having a traditional method in place, which is quite expensive. And talking about the capital inserting, inserting infrastructure, human intervention and error will be reduced. Carbon fruit and bycatch also reduced. So raised is on-spot aqua analysis. So on the spot, water quality parameter will be determined, and minus 40% of the mortality of species will be avoided because of this. And we are providing a real-time safety alerts and profitable fishing. So we are creating a kind of unified coastal safety livelihood ecosystem for the complete ecosystem of the ocean. And also like, as I told you, like fishing is a less floating data hub. So this is a game changer for capturing the ocean data and study of the ocean behaviors. And the market potential, you can see the red ocean is $225 billion. The market we can create is $300 billion. So in the first 5 years of the market is $256 billion. So the market share will be like 15 to 20%, and the revenue will be like $45 billion. So here, why we are capturing this market as a huge is this is untapped industries. So we have a lot of potentials globally also. So our value proposition will be like the ocean intelligence for safer coast and smarter aquaculture. And we want to be a mission and to have a kind of voice of water as a global. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shabana. So we take question from Louisa online, maybe. We can start with Louisa.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Is quite clear. There is one main question which consists of how is the global scalability of this technology? Means that how this technology considers the different conditions in different areas in different countries, or also the different regulations. So how is this kind of global scalability?
Got it. Thank you for the question. So here what we have done is this particular industry doesn't have any proper compliance basically. So we are creating compliance by using the solution. So what we have done is like we have created kind of sensor-based networks on each board. And also we have one standard policy called 12M. So that is mainly used for IoT massive devices. So that is the policy formulation. So this, as we are closely working with Delhi. So these are the standards we have to follow for avoiding the data threats also. And one more thing, like if you're having this kind of device in each fishing vessels, okay, not only in India, but globally, we can predict and get the data. So from there, we can cover an area, like let's say it's going to be a safer zone where no one's supposed to touch or go. That area will be protected. So right now, we don't have any kind of solution for the same. So now we are acting as an eye on the sea to capture the data, and from there, we can make a decision on it. So this is not only useful for India, but also globally.
Question in the room, maybe, yeah?
I have a very simple question.
Yes, sir.
What are some of the problems that you encounter that everybody gets excited about? Because in water, especially seawater, ocean water, dissolved impurities would be an important thing, I imagine. Perhaps even oxygen level concentration or CO2 concentration. So you got to have multiple sensors in these buoys that are floating around. So who comes with the definition of what is reasonable and get the alarm to sound?
Got it. So here, thanks for the question, sir. So just want to share you our problem we faced. Okay, we did a kind of lot of piloting on ocean. So when we start doing it, right, as we are very much aware, we have erosion problems. So I mean, the water erosion will be there because of the components that we are using. So what we have done is slowly we have improved our product quality, and we also doing a kind of IP6. IP6 is a kind of waterproof, especially used, suitable for seawater. So that we are actually proofing for every sensor. So we are not giving guarantee for the product like 2 years, 3 years like that. So minimum is going to be 1 year. So in that 1 year itself, they can get a lot of kind of income and profitable things. So that's how we have made it. So let's say if we are getting at a good investor, we do a lot of research to get the product rugged, more rugged. Because right now, the void that we are using by NIOT, that kind of material only we are also using it.
See, right here on the left.
Yes.
You see, there are a lot of other sensors and also LiDARs are now used to map the sea as well.
Yes.
Okay. Underwater, there are many other programs that have come up. Right now, I know there are 3-4 startups that are actually doing underwater equipment also to a robot that goes and collects information. So is your device going to be connected to basically a shipping vessel, or is going to be to a buoy, or how is it?
Okay. One thing what we are doing is like we are tethering our solution. Let's say the fisherman is having a board and they have to throw the device, or they can tether or they can fix it. So that kind of flexibility we are having. So on the go with the vessel, we will be capturing the data. That is the effective method. Why I'm telling you is, let's say if you're going ahead with the robots or kind of a wired solution, we need to have a kind of human manpower. And that is a limited area only where you can cover. But this one will cover enormous data, and we don't require any kind of manpower for this integration. No need of much infrastructure.
No, but see, whatever device you take, right? Even if I take a LiDAR, it has a circumference that can, right? Yes. Yours will also have a circumference that it can cover. But it's the same. Even if I take a ship or a boat and it goes, your device and that device is going to be the same.
Okay.
It's going to cover a lot more denser data than yours. But what I want to find out is, in this, yes, what is the cost? How much, what kind of a data you're collecting? Because that is very important. Because certain, like how you mentioned and others mentioned, it is different for different oceans. Even the minute you go to about 10 meters or 20 meters or 30 meters depth, the complete water changes, the pressure changes, how much of testing you have done for your product, how deep can it go, and if you can give us
So thanks for the question, sir. Actually, we did real-time testing, one thing. So talking about LiDAR, we can cover the areas and the object detections. But talking about the salinity and doing a kind of underwater animal analysis, as well as we are also capturing a kind of ocean sensitivity data. Example, depth of the particular area, temperature will be captured. So we'll be having a kind of number of sensor integrated, not only data. Let's say if you want to have a LiDAR, it's not a big deal, we can do it. But we are capturing a kind of more parameters into that. So we have nearly 60 plus parameters into that, including sonar, side mapping sonars and everything. So it depends on the board that we are fixing. Let's say they want to have a configuration, high configuration sensor, that is also can be done because we have a core team with us. So we'll expect you to.
But what is your product doing right now? A lot of things can be done. What we are
doing is we are capturing the ocean data. Right now we are closely working with Pondicherry government and we are capturing the data. And the second one is aquaculture, determining the underwater species health as well as the water quality that we are doing. And fourth one is life safety. So we have invented a solution called Rakshama. Why I'm telling this is, these people are concentrating only one product. Ours is a kind of one-stop comprehensive solution. Then only we can achieve. Let's say someone is sailing on the boat. If someone accidentally missed out from the boat, we don't have any kind of solution. We have only walkie-talkie to talk. But it's a kind of limited kind of distance. So as I'm one of the members working on a 6G, so we know what is the difficulty. So in other way, we are working in NTN along with 6G also. With the IoT. So that kind of development we are making into that to provide a comprehensive solution. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
No. So what currently we are doing also, in Pondicherry, I'll just share it. Okay, we'll be fixing the device, the side of the board, and we'll make them to travel. So this is enabled with Navic chip also. We are not using GPS here. It's Navic enabled. So along with the coordination, so we can also guide. So it is the next version that we are doing. We can also get the coordinates of the movement as well as the particular area depth and water quality of the particular area will be captured. No, nothing like that. So we'll be capturing the live data in the dashboard. So let's say the the fisheries department want the specific data about the fisherman and where they are located. That data will be provided to the fisheries department. Let's say if any such species are just detected in the underwater using this particular device, that data will be given to coastal area. So data plays a vital here. We don't have any kind of solution in place. This is a kind of emerging market.
Let's take maybe last questions together. We have 2 questions online from Sami and 3 maybe from Sami and Kumar and maybe Kalyani. Please, can you ask your question on the row? Kumar and Sami, you're muted. Yeah, Kumar.
So I can start. So it's not a question, no, from my side. It's primarily no. It's I think no the solution is definitely on the need of the hour. No, most of the coastal cities, not only in India. I think it's known that it can be of interest for many countries, coastal cities. 2 things I was thinking is that possibly you're in touch in Pondi, and I think there's a one foundation you should connect if you're not, if it's the Cuddle Life Foundation. And then there is another person in Pondicherry, by the way, who's working on initiatives under what robots for exploration, and it might be of interest that you both connect. Then the third thing I will definitely do is that in France, there is an annual summit of all the coastal cities, and it's primarily around ocean tech and startups who are solving problem for coastal cities. It happens every year in Biarritz. I think you can definitely come and present your initiative, no, in Biarritz around the foundation that is running it. It's called Waves of Change, and they primarily promote and then connect coastal cities and startups solving coastal issues.
All right. Dear sir, thank you so much for this valuable
Please.
So just to follow up on Kumar, I commend you for your presentation. And Biarritz is actually a very famous city in France for surfing. Anyway, my question to you is if an aqua farmer wants to deploy this utility, what is the exact approximate cost? Maybe I missed it in your presentation.
We take up the question. Okay, you remember the question? We take up the question. It's okay? Yeah. Okay, so please proceed. And Kalyani, maybe your question, and we'll close here.
Yeah. So I just want to thank a great presentation, a lot of clarity. I just wanted to know one thing, what is your revenue model? And by saying that, I want to know how you're going to get the repeatable and predictable revenue for your firm, and why would anyone wants to share your data? I understand there's a lot of things that's going on, but if I have to just get 2 words, why companies or anybody wants to share their data with you? What's the advantage in 2 words? And how you're going to get the predictable and repeatable revenue? So what's your revenue model? These are 2 questions I have. Thank you.
All right. So, okay. So the first question is for talking about the cost of the device. So it ranged from 34,000 to 1.5 lakhs, especially for aquaculture. What I'm telling is that only about the aluminum or nitrate, okay, sensor, it's cost around 1 lakh INR. So in that means it purely depends on the kind of sensor that we are using. So it depends on the configuration again. So it starts from 34,000 till 1.5 lakhs. And second question is like the revenue model, like we'll be selling this product as one-time product to the customers, example, the aquafarmer or kind of a boat owners, they can get this product as one-time cost. And apart from that, the unique USP is like data collection. So we are capturing the data. That is the one primary thing that we are doing, and that data will be given to the researchers, because right now you may ask like the data, how the value will create for the revenue, of course. So talking about global market, they are spending nearly $10,000 per visit of the ocean, because they have to rent a research vessel and they have to maintain the crew for the payment. So that means they are spending nearly $10K per day. So we are waiving off this particular cost and capturing the data. And we recently signed a kind of NDA with the it's a kind of a coastal ecology marine resource system in Kerala. They also shown interest to do a kind of deep ocean research analysis. And this is all about the question. And the data we are not getting from other people. We are providing the data and giving to the concerned departments by tying with them.
Thank you.
So the data will be safer. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Shabana.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And now we'll have Eleos, Uniform Intelligence with Jason.
Hello everyone. This video is intentionally kept simple and on purpose because we strongly believe that some of the biggest opportunities often lie in the simplest, most boring and most overlooked markets. At Helios, we are reimagining how uniforms are discovered, sized and delivered across millions of school children in India. We are building a parent-first, tech-enabled platform that creates delight for every stakeholder and efficiency across the uniform value chain. Helios brings doorstep trials and deliveries backed by sizing intelligence. This allows us to collect clean, sanitized orders at scale, creating predictable demand for the manufacturers. This data is backward integrated and manufacturers in turn benefit from better raw material and production planning, lower inventory risks, and fewer returns. Schools in turn benefit from a streamlined, hassle-free uniform experience with zero administrative load and happier parents. And if you're a parent who's still living the pain, you should definitely ask your school to check out Helios. Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Very good morning, respected jury members. Grateful for the opportunity to be here, and personally it's very significant because I was one of the organizing team members who birthed the idea of UMAGINE, and I had the privilege of bringing Blue Ocean for the first time in India. And now to be standing here in front of you, it's life coming full circle. So I'm really thankful. So we are working on a very, very simple problem statement, which is more or less taken for granted in schools. I don't know how many of you are parents who are buying uniforms for your children. The entire process of buying those uniforms in schools is purely chaotic. And probably this is the only industry where the paying customer, which is the parent, has zero agency, no choice, either in quality or services. So the idea is to put the power back in the parents' hands without disrupting the existing models. Existing stakeholders. So the manufacturers, the schools, and the distributors are all operating as it is. We do not get into their operating margins. So we are creating a tech-enabled parent-first, platform, which layers on top of this entire distribution process, which means that we handle the distribution. We let the manufacturers do their core job, which is only manufacturing. Right now, they are doing the distribution in schools, either through private stores or running counters inside schools, which are highly unprofessional, highly unorganized. So what this platform does is basically, so we are creating a proprietary sizing agent, AI-led sizing, which will allow parents to basically click a couple of images on their smartphone and derive the exact sizes from the comfort of their home. Then there is a physical trial kit, which is an actual uniform gets shipped to the parents' home, which means that parents do not have to queue up in the schools. Try the uniforms, reconfirm your fit, and then they proceed to checkout. So this enables us to collect sanitized data, creating predictable demand across, at scale. And this particular data is backward integrated to the manufacturers, where they benefit from precise production planning. They can avoid 10 to 15% industry overproduction or underproduction, which results in dead stocks. And the returns in the industry are close to about 35%. If we can bring it down to under 5%, that's huge efficiency gains. And schools are the happiest when they hear that parents do not have to come to school anymore. Streamlined process, happier parents, better NPS for schools. So that's what we do. So that's, The red ocean is basically the current problem, the school uniform problem that nobody talks about. The actual market size is 36,000 crores pan-India, and this is a repeat, economic inflow that happens in the entire system. But because and there is a lot of value leak across the chain. Now, because there is the system is highly fragmented, by design, the system operates like that. And the idea is to change the design. So we are, in terms of our non-customers, I think I would like to put it that the parents are currently paying. So they are participating as an economic customer, but the parent is the true non-customer for us. So, and that's where the entire onus of the model lies. It might look very simple, a very, simple data-driven, statistics-driven approach. But then just by flipping the buying process, we can achieve huge results. Because the scale is there, and by design, the fragmentation does not allow your legacy players to scale beyond a particular, geography. Mostly they are within geography. You don't find players who are operating across geographies, multi-city also. So just by creating a platform which can operate pan-India and capture a significant size of this 36,000 crores, you can unlock huge value across the chain.
Thanks, Jason. Maybe we take questions now?
I'm open to questions, yes.
So, awesome. I'd like to ask a very simple question. School owners are ready to accept this.
Sorry?
Whether the school owners are whether they are ready to accept this.
We are already working with a chain of schools, so we work across 2 states, 4 cities, 12,000 kids currently that we cater. So there is proof on ground. So we work on real on-ground environments. School owners are, to answer your question precisely, the only challenge why a school owner wouldn't accept is one, if the margins are being eaten away, service delivery is a problem. Now we are saying the biggest pain point is the chaos, the entire bad experience in terms of parents shouting at the school counter, and so that affects the goodwill of the school. Right now we are removing that. We are not asking him to change the existing vendor. The other common thing is, I'm working with my manufacturer for the last 20 years. Why should I change it? He said, don't. We say don't change it. Right? We are only enabling your manufacturer to make the parent experience smooth. The school owner is concerned end of the day about the parent experience, right? And the margins are not affected. So it's a non-disruptive model which increases the wow factor, delight factor for each of the stakeholders: the parents, the school, ultimately the child who's wearing a uniform, matter for dignity of the child, right? So everybody across the board.
How is the revenue?
So now, since we're replacing the distribution, currently the manufacturers work with temporary teams because it's a 2 to 4 month kind of a window when the school reopens, right? So you can't have in-house teams. Either they have a store which is operating, which takes the peak business load for just 2 months, and then the rest of the year it's a dead investment for them. So we are saying that we become the distribution layer, and then the parent conveniences are actually increasing. Plus, we are giving them precise. Currently, the industry sees 10 to 15% kind of a over underproduction, which is basically desktop. Our own lived experience: 5 crores of revenue. I mean, produced goods, sale of 4.5 crores, almost 50 lakhs of inventory lying in the warehouse for about a year. Now the warehousing costing, your interest costing, and all of that, we eliminate that completely. For example, imagine a case study where I go to a tailor and then I order a uniform, so I'll need 2 meters for the shirt, 3 meters for the pant, whatever. There's no chance of ordering any extra. Now imagine if I'm able to do this at scale. Let's say entire Chennai, this is 600 crore uniform flow that's happening every cycle. And then even if I'm reducing about 2% of that, 15% of industry average, even if I'm bringing it down by 5%, that's a huge benefit. Sorry, yeah, I think I missed that. So,
next question, maybe.
Yeah. So our revenue, we take the distribution, play that is there. Currently, it's at 20% that every manufacturer charges. So we replace that. 20% we charge on the AOV, average order value. So that's a straight revenue.
Next question in the room. Yeah.
How you are measuring the quality?
Thank you for bringing that up. That's a very, that's a very good question. Currently, we have no control on measuring the quality, but then in the coming uniform cycle, once I achieve a minimum scale, our target is to, leverage on the raw material sourcing. To give you an example, in Chennai, if there are 50 manufacturers buying from 50 mills, then that gives me leverage in terms of sourcing the raw material. So we are coming up with a Helios certified fabric, which will ensure a baseline quality, which will tell the market that if any manufacturer comes on board, one, he'll get it 2%, 3% cheaper because I can pass back the leverage that I'm making by aggregating. And then it also gives me the window to establish a baseline quality in terms of fabric.
Fabric based?
Yes.
You're the best one.
Yes.
So I'm asking about the sticks.
We are solving the core problem in terms of the sizing. There's no, there's no foolproof data in terms of stitching. The industry practices the last year's invoice, whatever sizes, whatever number of children, and then they go into production, right? Which is where the entire problem of this huge dead stock and returns are coming. Now I'm saying, I'm just like you walk into a local tailor, through the tech enablement, I'm getting precise sizes so that the quality output of stitching also will be better.
So uniform buying is usually at the beginning of the year.
Yes.
What happens rest of the year? What happens rest of the year? Revenues are going to happen in the first 3 months.
Our revenues are only on the uniform cycle for the 2 and 3 months. For the rest of the year, there's a lot of product development to do because the kind of scope that we see here, the ultimate vision is to move to a UDM model where I become the unified distribution manager for schools. Because a child today doesn't only buy uniforms, there are 100 other things that go, right? So the idea is to create a platform where
if you're any vendor sending anything to the school, you can simply plug and play. And then the backend infrastructure. Imagine an Amazon for uniforms. And I think that's precisely why we don't have competition, because the model isn't viable if you look at the traditional way, because it's just 2 months of revenue. And it's a waste of an effort to do all these things. But then if you find a way to scale it, I think it makes a lot of sense.
The last question is online from Majdi. And Majdi, can you proceed?
Yes, thanks again for the presentation. So basically, your model depends heavily on schools operating normally. How would you react in case of, which I don't hope, let's say a pandemic or another like COVID lockdown for a year, for example?
I'm so sorry. I'm not clear on the question.
Yeah, let me maybe rephrase it. Like, how would you operate? Let's say there is a COVID tomorrow and there is a lockdown for a year, for example. How would you actually survive such type of crisis?
All right. Okay. I haven't thought about it, to be very honest. And I really hope and pray that doesn't happen again for the benefit of all of us, not only for my business. But I think the scale that we're talking about, not only in the Indian market is 36,000 crores, and there is potential of this model working globally as well. So if in the off chance that there were to be a lockdown, so I would be grateful to God to take that entire 1 year and work 100% to make the products 10x better. So I think that's how I look at it. And I personally enjoyed the lockdown, honestly.
Thanks. Take an opportunity in any programs.
No, sir. We are just, bringing it down to precise sizing. We are not doing customized development.
I think it's over. We are running after time. Thanks a lot, Jason. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Thank you. We can take this offline. Repeat.
Now, next to proceed here with Orbix.
Over 10,000 satellites now circle Earth, with hundreds launching yearly. Space insurers, investors, regulators face unprecedented exposure and risk. The key question is, how financially ready is each satellite? Introducing the Risk 42 framework, a score from 0 to 10 developed by Orbix Global. It quantifies satellite risk before and after launch and gives underwriters, investors, regulators a clear, numeric snapshot risk. The Orbix evaluates multiple factors: technical maturity, launch vehicle pedigree, operator experience, subsystem reliability, design level risk, sustainability, debris mitigation planning, end-of-life strategy, TLE and past claim history. Each factor is graded to produce the overall risk score. Scores range from 0 to 4, high risk, 5 to 7, medium risk, to 8 to 10, low risk. It brings faster, more transparent risk assessment, investment decision and premium pricing. It's a trust layer between insurers, investors, and space operators. Orbix Global is working with underwriters, investors and satellite operators to make the Risk 42 a global standard for space risk. To learn how your organization can pilot the Risk 42 framework, visit orbixglobal.com.
Very good morning to everybody. So myself, Madan Kumar, founder of Orbix Global. So we are the world first orbital USG and the risk intelligence platform for the space economy. And so the problem currently the insurers and investors and regulators they face is they are not able to assess the risk of a particular launch of the missions and satellites, and how the satellite is actually performs and how sustainable it is in the orbit. And the investors they don't have any clear data to assess what is the risk behind that and how to allocate the capitals for each and every satellite. So that's the problem. Our solution is we have a unified risk 42 framework that contains three different products. So that is called the orbital sustainability governance that rates how responsibly, sustainably the satellite is in orbit, and the insurance readiness index is nothing but rates how insurance how it is ready for the insurance satellite is, and investment readiness score that is nothing but INVR, which gives a rating of how the satellite is ready for the capital allocation and investment. So that's the solution that we are currently. Our value curve is if you look at it, the various players are actually working in the silos. But our platform and our solution is actually connect with all the various the players and whatever they are providing, like space situational awareness, pollution data, and sustainability metrics. And the insurance companies, they are working on their own data and investment comparability. So we connect and we are in the value curve at the top. So that is our value curve. Yeah, thank you. So our this is our blue ocean strategy, and the red ocean is the space risk and the insurance and investment decision infrastructure. And the standard offering by the various the players are space situational awareness data, debris risk and space traffic management, and underwriting memos by the insurance companies, and engineering risk by the satellite operators and manufacturers, and the space and the collision data by the space situational awareness data providers, and TLE two-line elements, and the expert consulting who are actually the ISRO, I would say, the space scientists and astronauts. So the non-customers, I would say, the insurance company who are reluctant to enter into the space risk and satellite risk because they don't have any clear decision support level data that are not available on the market, because it is available only in the particular the big the insurance companies like Lloyd's, Insurance, and AXA and Marsh. These are all the big companies, and but we are opening to the insurance company who wants to enter into the space the space insurance market. The next the customers, I would say, the institutional investors who are all the venture capitalists and the banking sectors who want to invest in the infrastructure thematic funds and the space thematic fund and ESG focused funds, so they can we are targeting for that. And the unexplored market is the regulators and the policy bodies like UNOSA and the European Space Agency and in space, and I would say there are many regulatory bodies and NASA. So they are all the regulatory bodies that they can work on the how how to create a policy for a space economy. And the point that we eliminate is we eliminate the bespoke reports and engineering risk only, because the investors and the insurers, they cannot easily understand what is the data is actually talks about and how it is related to the economic and the financial, what is the risk behind that. So engineering risk data will not cover the the investment perspective, the language. What we are creating is a orbital risk economic language, and what we are reducing is the complexity in the for the investors to take a decision and regulatory restrictions, because any satellite that they want to launch for they want to go for a launch, and they need to prove that how sustainable they are, and that regulation frictions we are reducing, and the premium volatility, because each time the third party liability and insurance companies they covers the particular satellite, and the satellite is not actually performing it to sun synchronous orbit, and it does not have any control, and the insurance company has to pay the whatever the coverage that they have provided to the particular satellite. So that's what we have. The premium volatility is actually, it is not actually very static, and it is not controllable. It is actually it's very dynamic. And what we are reducing is underwriting time and cost, because normally insurance and underwriters, they takes more time to analyze the satellite and each and every missions. So this will reduce, our platform will reduce the underwriting time and cost. And what we raise is economic interoperability and risk transference. That's very, very important point, that what is the risk behind that particular satellite and each and every missions. And the frequency of the risk assessment, normally the risk assessment happens only at the launch. So, but we are using our platform that, the frequency of risk assessment actually it gets increased, and the sustainability visibility, how the satellite is actually performing in the orbit and with the various orbit, LEO, MEO, and GEO and synchronous, and we are covering the all the very low various type of orbits, and the value that we create is orbital risk economic language. It's a one language that everybody can understand. Regulators, insurance operators, and the investors and insurance company, they are able to easily understand what is the risk behind that risk language, the economic language that we are creating. And the dynamic compliance, which is nothing but we get the dynamic feed from the various space situational awareness providers, and we integrate in our platform, and we provide the real-time sustainability scoring for each and every satellite, and the pay as you fly is insurance is nothing but the parametric insurance. So if any satellite is actually once it reaches the orbit, then it is moving to the different orbit to reach the constellations, to attach the constellations, so they can use that parametric insurance using our data. So that is a value that we create. The value proposition that we are creating is orbital risk transformed from the complex data into the the technical component, the shared economic language. That is what the value creation, and we are actually de-risking the next frontier. It is not only a satellite and missions. We are also talking. We are also focusing on the air mobility services, drones. So that is also we are targeting for that. And the market potential, the red ocean market is 2.4 billion. At present, the reason is very low is because the only 3% of the satellite and the insurance are, the missions are actually insured because they don't have data. So that's a whole, the point that barrier that we are breaking. And the market size in the creative market is 200 million, and the market size in 5 years is going to be 3.6 billion, and the market size in 5 years, market share in 5 years, it's going to be a 50, and the revenue what we are creating in 5 years is a $30 million. So our commercialization roadmap. So we started with the 2025 Q1 as an ideation, and 2025 Q4 we have a POC, proof of concept, with for orbital sustainability governance rating with in space, and we have received a investment readiness index framework POC validation with the World Economic Forum. So, and also we have got selected in the Dubai Air Show as a space pavilion, one of the top 5 finalists in the space space stream. And our POC MVP is that next we are currently working with the IRI in Insurance Readiness Index with REL Insurance. That is the new insurance they are getting into the the space market. So, and our product is going to launch in 2026 Q4, and the framework enhancement to the next frontier, I would say the air mobility services and drones, and that's what we are working on it. This is our sample reports. The first one is the OSG, Orbital Sustainability Governance, and Investment Readiness Index, and Insurance Readiness Index. So we are like a Bloomberg for the space asset, and we are the sustainability for the space asset, and we are the investment grade. I would say the Morningstar and the S&P for the space asset. Thank you.
Thanks, Madam. Thanks a lot. Let's take few questions.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Is this purely a subscription model?
It is a consulting and subscription model.
And what are the metrics for such a business? Because the data comes after the launch. The data accrues over time, but how do you propose you track success and feeling good about the fact that you're not going to end up in the red ocean? I mean, you have the couple of lines on the red ocean, right? A lot of it is confidential because I happened to have worked in launches of satellites years ago for RCA. And what I have found is nobody discloses when a mishap happens. So it becomes very difficult. It's something that you might want to worry about.
Yes, sir. So the data that we get is a classified information. Okay. And the one plus point that we have is the investment and the insurance companies and regulators, they have to disclose it because they have to disclose it because the operator cannot keep the informations and everything on their own. So they have to disclose because they are investing and they are providing the insurance coverage for their asset. So they have to provide. That's going to be the game changer. And if you have the orbital the governance ready enough, you have to provide. Without that, without that, the rating cannot be right to the extent. But it's going to be a game changer. Initially, each and every company, think about it, the Bloomberg, and they started with the bond pricing. Right now, they are the market leader because we build the trust. Through the trust, we break the bank.
See, just a follow-up question on what Mr. had asked. So we have also made some investments across our network in space tech, right? But when you look at most of the data points, as he was mentioning, there's not much of data that you can work around. It's only there is what you see is what you can believe that they are built. We don't know, as you mentioned, if the rocket is going to blast, go up and down. They might know exactly what's going to happen. If it's going to go probably 10 kilometers and blast off, but we might not know, right? So how are you going to mitigate this risk or get this? Because this data has to come from them, and they're not going to give ahead of time, right? And now you're telling someone that I'm giving a credibility, like without me spending my credit card, I don't have a credit score. Now you're telling me that you will give my rating to someone else to make an investment or give a loan to me. How is that? How will that work? How is that possible right now? Okay, this market is a very new market, very nascent, and then it's a startup market. Investments are happening, but we don't take a risk based on what it is. We are just taking a haphazard risk. That's all it is.
There are two ways that I would like to look this question. One is, so you have an attachment to the, let's say you are the credit card holders and you have bought the credit card from your bank, right? And if you pay your dues on time and your credit score will remain, and we are not getting the data from you, we are getting the data feed from the institutions, bankings, okay? And they provide the feedback to the independent credit agency. It is not about that. But only through your permission, we get the final score, correct? But we get the data. That is the principle that we apply.
But see, that's where the Q comes from, right? Because no satellite, as you mentioned, even we are working, no satellite manufacturers or anyone provides any data. Okay, there's no data. What you get is the data of what it is doing. So if you have orbital satellites that are capturing the images of the Earth, then you get that, right? If it's capturing the space, then you get those images. So these are the data that are being provided by the satellites. But like how, for me, you're not going to get what is the validation data because I'm spending payment on time. Over there, no one is saying what's happening with the satellite, if it's right on the orbit, if it's right on track, if there is going to be a collision with another orbit, or if there is a sky garbage that is flying around that's going to be hitting, or you have so many other things, right? And today it's many. You see many satellites falling down also. So how are you going to tell? Because these are not data that are captured and provided to anyone. This is only with the, even probably the satellite owners might also not have so much of data as well.
I got your point very well. So we are not only getting the data from the just the satellite operators. Okay, so let's take an example only for the satellite that is already in the orbit and it is providing the services to the, let's say, navigation services. Okay? And so the satellite, they are flying on the orbit and we monitor using various data providers. I hope you know that observatory, I hope, right? So the European Space Observatory, and there is a company called the Space Flux. So they are very good at observing the terrestrial, these orbital data and orbital weathers through the high resolution the lenses. Okay, so they are the first in the world. They provide that kind of data. So we are not relying only on the data provided by the operator. We have the data. We have partners in the various SERA data, and we have the Space Flux, and we have OKP orbiter, and we have Orbiter. So there are various people are providing the data, and we aggregate that, we enhance the data, and through the AI, we come up with the validation, the human intervention validation. Then we are able the score. Okay. The second question is how I look at it. So before launch, that we have the separate framework called. Sorry, I'm taking a long time. And before we launch, there is a framework called the design level risk score. So what are the components that you used in order to design your mission and the component level analysis report? Normally, every satellite and every launch design level analysis, component level analysis, normally they submit to the regulators. That is the starting point that we analyze the report, and we provide based on the historical performance of the particular operators, or the mission, our launches, launch vehicles, and so we get all the data and we arrange the scoring.
Just last point. Yeah. How many insurers are ready to insure? And what is your collecting? You said you're collecting all these data from different. How much is the cost of collecting this data?
Okay, it depends on the kind of the data that we get it. So the insurance company, they are charging 12% of the IDV. Say, for example, the cost of 100 million is satellite value or launch vehicle value, and it's going to be 12 million for the premium. Okay, and if they need to cover the 100 million, then it's the 12 million is a premium. Which?
Okay, maybe we'll take a last question online from Kalyani, I think. Kalyani, have a question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi. This is great what you're doing, but what I consistently here is you're collecting data from a lot of places. So a few questions that I have, these data can be available to anyone else as well, like you. So you come into the red ocean immediately, right? Then you're competing with a lot of things. So what's your moat to be a blue ocean? The second question that I really want to ask is, just think about it. When you collect this data, how you're collecting this full data, where you're getting stored, how anyone can access, and how do you retain it? And say if there's a government policy change there, what would you do? So these are the few red flags that I see. Can you just walk through us?
Okay. I just answer the second question. Okay. So how do I store the data, and what is the regulatory? So the space economy is very
basically on the policy change.
Sorry?
How would, if there's a policy change in the future, and the first question is very important, how you are different from any other, because this is available to everybody. So you immediately come into the red ocean.
No, it is, see, one entity cannot cover the insurance and sustainability rating and the investment rating. So nobody is covering. I'm challenging. Okay. So I'm the only, Orbix Global is the only entity that covers the all three. So this is the one cake that we are giving to the entire space entities, like regulators, operators, and insurance companies and investment companies. So they have some own, say for example, Seraphim. Seraphim is one of the the fund, the space trust fund. They are investing in, because they have only their own team, and they are not providing the data to any other person, any other companies. But what we are opening is anyone, any investors, any insurance company can access to the space economy, because we provide the scoring and the rating and the decision. We support the decision support system for the space entities.
I need the connection. Lead now.
Hello? Yeah, sorry. So did I answer your question?
Yeah, thank you. Just to close the note, I just want to say that it's a huge space, and of course, a lot of people are going to space for their data.
I think we're running out of time. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Now we have Pinterest. Pinterest, sorry. Mrs. Rajendri.
Printellect offers an on-demand printing solution that's based on IoT. It is an automated printing kiosk that lets users to print from anywhere and quite confidential tool. Users can send their documents and specifications from wherever they are, get it printed as soon as possible by the kiosk that is set up within an institution. Users can scan and collect their prints, which is stored within the kiosk anytime whenever they are ready. Through this process flow, we enable users to skip the queue, make it quite confidential and faster too.
Yeah. So I thought of saying good morning, so it's good afternoon. So yeah, everyone and all of us would be facing a crowd for a product that's on demand, let's say a product or service anytime. So even we notice this in the domain and like industries that's around us and we use every day. And we started taking things seriously and started working on why and how like to fix these things and or at least optimize the industries. That's quite sticking around us within the industry. So which gives us to the point of document printing. And let's see how we can contribute to the blue ocean market. This is Sri Sanjay, founder and CEO of Printellect, an on-demand printing solution. So the bandwidth here we are speaking is about the big ocean here is the document printing here, and with the standard offering of traditional shops we see everywhere all over the places with a printer mostly, which comes into this category with the offering of with printouts from process which is enabled through print system only, which is quite constrained with the specifications and those stuff, and also with the cache heavily calculated system. And due to this, which rises to a new set of customers in the market, those are called the non-customers of the current red ocean people. So here we introduce the to-be customers of the non-customers here, or the people who are tired of waiting in lines to get a printout, and people who prefer, let's say, a convenience of remotely printing stuff and making wanted quite confidential documents for PCs and mostly confidential stuff. And our our anti-customers would be people who are unfamiliar with online payments and use of system-based processes within an app for printing. And the place where we would be like to explore but pretty unexplored now would be like packaging on demand and doing brand deals for demands or let's say of other brands which is needing it on demand. So those are the stuff we are working for and would be quite interesting to work to. Taking out from there, an account of the non-customers, let's say from account of the non-customers here, we are quite eliminating this, which is of current standard of this industry through physical queues, cache dependent system, and need of an human operator accessibility and who like needs accessibility and mostly of performing this repetitive task again and again, and of a bit unclear pricing of pages and prints. This takes us to raising standards of this current industry to a new level where we enable with an automated kiosk with 24/7 functionable, transparent pricing, and improve turnaround time and fast things, while also reducing the privacy concern with the documents and also with the, let's say, turnaround time, improving it by reducing with the physical footprints where customers would be waiting to get things done. And from a theory that, as a matter of fact, an innovation is when, let's say, eliminating all the negatives of the current industry with a simple solution, which created and take us to a point where we presented the print on demand from anywhere and quite confidential too, which resonates with the ecosystem what we have to take. Taking out from here, we take to the projection places where we project the industry of our blue ocean, which is quite apart from the red ocean of 35 billion USD, which we have created a blue ocean thing of 221 million USD. So from here, the market sizing we on projecting things is that of 37 billion USD on summing up these two, and market share potential of 27% of the current 40 million students of taken only account of the 40 million higher studies and students who need of these things repeatedly. And from there, with the revenue share, revenue of at the fifth year, with a 60 million of USD of average thing, we have estimated this projection. And from here, every, let's say, projection is of just numbers until we have a action in place, which adds a, like a beautiful picture. So here we have the projections of 1,000 plus users registered and already been using. The 60 plus users, 60% of the users, like active users monthly, and Recon Week 40% returning to. And all with, enabled with a team of 3 people, me and the co-founders and tech people, and that's it. And quite interesting to get doubts and questions.
Question online first with Risa. First, Risa, proceed.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. Can you elaborate, which is not clear, which kind of segments are you serving? So is essentially B2C, B2B, or both? And into 2 different segments, how you see your competitive advantage?
Okay, so we are a B2B and a B2C startup. So our customers who are regularly using this as already mentioned, with the customers of new industry which we created, but we cater to institutions, legal office, and places where the crowds and demands are. Hope this answers this.
See, at the offset, it looks more like logistics optimization than a category shift itself. So how do you justify Blue Ocean here? That's the first one. The second question is, with all the, saving the planet and the ESGs coming in, how do you think that this will boom with the decrease in demand for printing?
So we have taken account of India only as of now, with all the institutions which, there's a lot of places where people are going paperless too, but we have rooted on places where the papers of, the paperworks are necessarily important as of now. And coming to your logistics question, so what we do is, we do the process innovation, let's say, as of now, how we define is that. So a user has to be waiting on the queue, or let's say you don't have to wait on the queue if the shop is empty most of the time. He has to send a mail or on WhatsApp which specifies the specification of how he wants the prints or something, and get it paid and done. So what we do is a process innovation through our application. We upload the documents, we give the specification before, getting to the place beforehand, paying in prior with contributing, with the pricing and all the stuff. So once user is on the place to get it done, it's always done. So by this time we can easily skip the queue and also make things faster.
If confidentiality is compromised, who takes responsibility?
So it can't be confidential. The confidentiality can't be compromised because the system in place is that it's a software protected system where in between there's no middleman to see the documents underneath. So also the documents is end-to-end encrypted in sense of, let's say, from the user's mobile and only to the kiosk within the system which runs it can see that, and that's back end, not the person. No one is there. Yeah.
Okay. So any question in the room?
Yeah, I'll be interested to learn from you.
Kalyani, can you proceed with your question, Kalyani?
Yeah, hi. I see this as a live example happening very, used in US, right? And Kodak and CVS has kind of done a similar business model. Where do you see this solution in India scale, and how do you see this scaling in India with so many local players? And why would they come to you?
So the basic, the question answer to this question mostly relies on the system or the tech we place in the system itself. Let's say a kiosk and the software which takes care of all the things. Let's say a local person can't always taken a system to bring a software, to bring in hardware, IoT, all this can't be done. So simply they can just buy our machine and partner with us. That's how we can do it. And with the booming thing, some places can be going paperless too, but there's an always demand for papers and pencil and those stuff. Where will we play? That's it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have a question here. Yeah, so how does the Printellect works for a non-app user or a cash preferred user, which is a larger and not very skills?
So we are not addressing it right now. So we are an app-based team only, it's on demand, and also it's online payment stuff only. As of now, we haven't disclosed that because it's a quite place where things get shifted when we go for this thing. That's why we prefer this and again quite counter resistant.
Thanks a lot, Sanjay and your colleague. You can upload.
Thank you.
And the last finalist we have today, who is Canext, and Rajat is online because of personal requirements. Hi, Rajat, are you here?
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Elvan, for this opportunity.
You tell me next, you just next for sliding, okay? We'll start with your video.
At Scanex Scientific Technologies, Private Limited, our vision is to transform agricultural landscape and build an ecosystem where smallholder farmers prosper through data and dignity, farming becomes profitable and resilient, and rural youth embrace it with pride as a future of purpose, not fallback.
Pariksha device. It is a portable and rapid soil testing device developed by the IIT Kanpur that gives instant and accurate soil health insights within a few minutes.
Detection system. It's your smart partner to detect the pest from the crop field. It is the IoT based hardware uses UV light and pheromone trap, yellow sticky and blue sticky traps, and take images in the regular interval.
To jury for this opportunity. I'm Rajat Vardhan from Scanex Scientific Technologies. We are on a mission to empower 50 million smallholder farmers by developing 50,000 agri-technology centers across Asia, Africa, and Latam, and taking our impact on the ground to support farming community. We are supported by one of the finest mentors from the industry, which are from diverse field, and we have people from different IITs, IIMs, people from technical agriculture institutions, people who are handling global roles. Next, please. And my team also comprises of people from various technical backgrounds. We have team from different IITs. We have teams from different agriculture universities, in Institute of Remote Sensing, very, very technical equipped team, BTech, MTech, and PhDs. Next, please. Talking about our tangible and demonstrated impact, we have developed one technology, soil testing. We have sold almost 5.5 lakh soil tests. We have 65,000 plus farmers on our systems. As of now, we have been able to reduce pesticide uses and able to increase yield significantly. We have been able to map 1,000 plus villages on heat maps, created 600 plus jobs so far, and by ICR and IAP, which is the Central Government of India institution, it has documented that by just spending $4 to $5 by each farmer, they have been able to increase their income almost by 10 to 15,000 rupees. Next, please. Our technology has got global recognition while we operate with IT Delhi, IT Kanpur, IT Tirupati, and IT Ropar. We have got our systems validated by ICAR. We have been supported by Gates. We are also the winners at TI 50. Great to see you, Kalyani, over here. We are also part of Operation Dronagiri. Next, please. I'm very proud to share this dashboard with you. On the left side, you can see these are the actual farmers who are there on our platform as on date. And while I speak to you, we have exported to 6 countries in the last financial year. And currently, we are in conversations in more than 18 countries to take our system from one place to many, many countries. Next, please. We have been very kindly reported by local, national, and international media. Honorable Prime Minister also spoke twice about what we have done. We work with one of the biggest players in input and output market across the country and globally as well, with ICARDA and with WWF. And we work with a lot of multinationals as well. Next, please. Talking about the blue ocean grid, what we are trying to create is agri intelligence for all. That includes smallholder farmers, that include businesses, that include governments. And what we are doing is by bringing up affordable innovations which are used by rural youth, so that the technology finds a local partner, it creates job, and then it gets acceptance in local geographies. We are tapping on a $40 billion market, and we are very, very confident that within 5 years we should have our annual turnover to be at least 400 million. We are currently PAT positive, and the way we are going ahead, I believe that we should be able to have our presence in at least 50 countries in next 5 years. What we are able to do is we are able to provide access to smallholder farmers in a very, very affordable manner. So that has reduced the cost. This is a typical blue ocean which we have been able to implement. At the same time, we have also been able to bring on board rural youth, women, self-help groups, FPOs in Africa. We have been able to onboard farmer cooperatives in an affordable manner. So those who are out of the reach, we have been able to onboard them. And with our recurring platform in agriculture, maybe for the first time in India at least, we have been able to provide our systems to farmers on SaaS basis. So that becomes a recurring income, and youth is also able to enhance their earnings by that. So we have integrated soil, pest, and post-harvest intelligence. We have created a network of village-level entrepreneur-led village delivery system and one platform to provide all these services. What we've been able to eliminate is very high cost-driven wet chemistry-based reagent with a very long turnaround time of 15 to 20 days and a very high cost which comes around that. Our red ocean has been traditional agri diagnostic, right? So all of the products which we have launched and in process of launching, they are basically creating and replacing traditional agri diagnostic. And what we are able to do is bring in affordability, reliability, localization, and creating job while we do that. We have been able to ensure that whatever solutions we bring, it brings speed on the ground with farmers because crop has got a limited period. Typical period is 100 to 120 days. So every single day for farmer is important. And affordability also becomes very, very important. We have been able to increase documented yield by 10 to 15% and bring in affordability. What we have been able to reduce is lab visits. It costs farmer to visit a lab. And if somebody is coming to their villages and providing the service affordability, it creates a lot of help to the farmers and it reduces the excess input. So excess fertilizer, excess pesticide, they basically make the land barren. And any pesticide which goes into the soil actually comes in our health chain. And that actually damages all of us in one way or another. We have got cancer spreading across the globe. So when we have got these affordable technologies working on the ground, you basically create safe environment for the soil, for the people to consume that crop. And then we ensure that it is not the guesswork, but it is science which is leading farmers to take the decision. Currently, we operate in 22 languages globally, and we aim that we should be able to present in 35 plus languages within this financial year. And the work is going on, and it is very exciting to be the part of Blue Ocean Strategy event today. I look forward for the questions, Jury. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajat. Now we have a room for questions. In the room or online? Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. So by and large, the success of the majority of the architect solutions are lies in affordable and the adoption. So when we are working with small farmers, the adaptation is a larger issue which we have already encountered with various solutions. How are you planning to dealing with the adoption, especially with the people with the low literacy and low connectivity?
Thank you for the great question. So what we are able to do, we are basically B2B, B2G, and B2B2C company. What we have been able to do is we work with the businesses across the country, and these businesses basically operate with a lot of last mile farmers, and that brings a content of trust in the farmer that they can also start adopting these new age technologies. And when we are in local language and our system is run by local village level entrepreneur, that also bring in and infuses a sense of trust. We always start with leader farmer in a village community. So whenever a leader adopts, the rest of the village also starts adopting. We have also, at the same time, we also work with multiple state governments. We sensitize the governments and district level administration. That also takes up a lot of trust among the local community, and that also increases adoption. And third layer is when we create our network of VLEs, they also bring in a lot of content of trust. I think all these three levels of work helps farmer starting the adoption. It always starts with the innovators, and then finally the laggard starts to adopt that.
A question online from Sami. Sami, please proceed.
I just actually to commend you on the presentation, very clear, really enjoyed it. I think there's a great added value for this project, and wish you all the best.
Thank you, Sami. Really appreciate you. And just to share with the jury, from Monday, I am invited at MIT and Harvard Innovation Lab to share our work so far. So I think the journey is going on.
Okay, just have a simple question. So your business model, is it equipment rental or is it a subscription model where people buy in on a monthly basis to get the specific metrics that they want to measure?
Thank you for the question. So what we do is we operate in two ways. One is we sell our hardware, and next is we provide our hardware on lease, both the models. But whether it is selling the hardware, we have this hardware. This tiny device can actually give you the soil diagnostic, and along with that, subscription model is tagged. Whether you purchase a hardware or you lease a hardware, we are able to ensure that with each device sold or leased, recurring income comes to us and comes to our partners who are the VLEs, and that makes the system very, very affordable. Let me cite you an example what kind of price difference we are able to bring. So if you want to get it soil tested in Nigeria today, it will cost you at least $70 to $80 per test, while we are able to do the same thing in just $2. So that's the magical difference in pricing we are able to bring. If I talk about India, the typical cost is between 300 rupees to 1000 rupees, but we are able to just do it in under 50 rupees. So that's the delta difference we are able to bring by this. And there is a recurring content of income as well.
Thank you, Rajat. Congratulations. Just one last question. Last question, yeah. You said 65K farmers you have reached out. And can you say which region? And because we have a lot more farmers, several lakh farmers. And what is your go-to market to reach out to these farmers, number-wise?
Sir, so as I told you that we have already sold more than 5.5 lakh tests, but in our earlier model, we were not mapping these farmers on our system. It is just like last 4 months, we have started to onboard farmers on our systems directly. I believe that within next a year only, we should be able to onboard at least 500,000 farmers on our system directly. And we see that in next 5 years, we are aggressively aiming to target 50 million farmers with the help of our channel.
You say you didn't map. Why was the 5.5 lakh farmers not mapped earlier?
Basically, we were totally B2B, wherein we were providing our hardware directly to companies like ITC, PepsiCo, a lot of fertilizer companies, a lot of seed companies, and we were giving our hardware directly to them. But now what is happening? This VLE model has started to progress very, very well, wherein directly the registration is happening on our system.
Okay, thank you. Thank you,
Thank
you, Rajat. Congratulations. You can upload.
Thank you, Jury, once again. Wish you a good day. Thank you. Thank you, Kalyani. See you.
Thanks a lot. So we are now finished with all the presentations. Thanks all the finalists for this very interesting sharing and for the jury for your very interesting questions. Now I propose we have a short break, technical break, and we are back in 5 minutes. If you're okay, we are back for deliberations. You can write on your scorecard your 3 preferred, the 3 laureate for you, and we will count all the votes all together. Are we okay for a short break, 5 minutes? And we are back in 5 minutes for deliberation and discussions for the jury members.